guys, I'm Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and I'm a typewriter collector. And this week, I'm also going camping. I decided to take a typewriter with me so I could answer some pen pal letters that have been stacking up on my desk. I wanted something lightweight and portable, so I landed on my Corsair Deluxe. I also wanted to bring along this envelope that I found thrifting so I could keep all of my paper and pens and this cute little mini repair kit all in one place. And with all of this packed up in my car, it was time to go to Maine.
That's a massive lobster.
So we decided to go back and check out some of the antique stores we passed on the way in, including this one. This is the Wiscasset Antique Mall. Single serve teapot. How about this pheasant? I did look at this purse briefly. I've been trying to look for natural fiber, good quality bags, but I decided to pass on this because it is a Target brand rather than vintage. And I also passed on this one. I do sell a lot of this brand, but the condition here just was not worth the price for resale. I checked out this lamp. I'd been looking for good lighting, but I decided to pass on this one. And these were really curious to me. I'll go into a little bit more of a deep dive, but I couldn't tell if they were ribbon tins or not because it was all in German, and I don't speak German. Here was another typewriter. This one didn't have a case and looked like it needed some repair, so I did pass.
There's your case, little fella. Nowhere to be seen.
I'm always looking for leather bags. I did find quite a few on this trip, but just didn't purchase very many. I'm looking for specific brands and specific quality at very low price points for resale. And I'm always looking for these stackable mugs. I'm going to find my set someday.
Wow. Asked keys. Oh, they're all individually priced.
I do always like to go to new antique malls anytime I'm in a new place because it's interesting to see what the prices are like, but also what the merchandise is like. And in Maine, it makes sense that a lot of the things here are ship and boat themed, so tons of stuff related to aquatics and nautica. Is that a style? The nautical? I don't know. There's a lot of boats here.
I was still really curious about these Pelikan Bakelite tins or boxes. They looked like ribbon tins to me, so I did a quick Google image search and ran across a few websites that listed them as ribbon tins from World War II. I thought that was really cool, so I posted on the Antique Typewriter Collectors group just to confirm if they were ribbon tins. It turns out Pelikan did make ribbon spools, and they did package them in these Bakelite carriers. However, Pelikan also made ink and pens. Someone else had suggested they might be a pen nib box, and then someone else commented that they actually made this design and logo and style up until 1972. So no guarantee that these were used during World War II. So I decided to leave them behind for someone else. A little ways down the road is Indian Trail Antiques. Now this place is the ultimate man cave of antiques. It has tons of car memorabilia and mechanical things, as well as just interesting items like this custom cooler lawnmower. I don't know, pretty curious looking. One other item I ran into was another lamp, but I stopped and looked at this one specifically because I have purchased one of these before. I bought this lamp at my local Salvation Army or Goodwill for I think $4 and resold it online, so it was cool to see it in an antique store. The other thing that caught my eye was this National Cash Register. Now it does have some tabs on it that would be great for accounting. These are built very similarly to typewriters, and I was really impressed with just how large and behemoth this piece was.
I think all these stoppers are for like columns.
I also saw these printing press tray pieces. I always stop and look at these. They're always really interesting to me. And I did find some cool imagery in here as well. And some typewriters here in the wild. I did see quite a few Royals while on this trip, and a lot of them were a little bit older. So here was one. You know me, I always have to reset the keys. So I thought this was in really nice condition, but just outside of my price range, so I did not pick up this machine.
Oh. That's super interesting. What can one do at a campsite in the rain is use their typewriter. Definitely would be better if I had some sort of table. Right now it's just on my knees and it's bouncing quite a bit, but that's the problem with ultra portables. They're always sliding because they're lightweight, but it's great for camping because I don't necessarily need a table in order to use it. I haven't used this one in a while. I can tell it definitely needs some adjustments. This is my first ever typewriter, my Corsair Deluxe, which yes, I said I would never buy again, but that's because I have this one. At least no one can hear my typing.
Oh, it smells like delicious. Welcome to 1A Relics in Ellsworth, Maine.
It's a lobster.
Oh, she's destroyed.
This place is really interesting. I saw it on Instagram and added it to my list of places to go. They really utilize their space because even in the bathroom, it is full of oddities for sale. It's one of those antique stores that is a little bit creepy and a little bit full of very strange things.
Shakespeare.
The other big thing on today's list was visiting the Acadia National Park in Maine. And I never not stop at a Goodwill, especially on the way home, so I got some caffeine and headed into this Goodwill. Right as I walked into the door, I did find a desktop standard Olympia. It was way too out of my price range, and I definitely did not have room in the car for it, and I didn't pick up this electronic typewriter either, even though it was only $5. And with that, it was time to go back to the campsite. I really enjoyed the Goodwills here in Maine. They were really clean, really well set up, and I did find some interesting things in them. As always, I started in the bag section. While I didn't buy much at Goodwill, I did find an antique store, antiques, etc. One thing I was looking for while here was an LL Bean fisherman's bag. I decided to pass on this one, but this is really in style right now. And while this looks like it's in good condition, I did pass on this machine. I've had my fill of Corsairs, and I have one in the car. More coffee means I have more patience for another thrift store, so I went to the Salvation Army. Now this one was priced really well. It was really low cost of everything. I didn't get much here, but I was pretty impressed with the selection, especially of the name tag brands in clothing. There was a lot there that I recognized, and it seemed to be really affordable. This next one is Sweet Peas Consignment, or Sweet Peas Thrift. I did find a few items in here, including this toy typewriter. It was in pretty rough condition and listed for $25, so I did decide to pass, but it is nice to see these in more thrift and consignment-based stores. I don't always have luck finding these outside of antique stores. And as always, I checked the bag wall. Now they separated their name brand fancy bags from their everything else bags. This, for example, is not a Coach bag despite having Coach hardware. And I found even more in the other room. One thing I'm looking for on this trip is LL Bean bags. These are really popular right now, but this one was pretty small and too expensive, so I decided to pass. And this is another really great brand, Pendleton, but I'd rather find a coat or a blanket than a bag. And these are Coach boots. I have never seen Coach rain boots, but if I needed them, here's where they are. And with breakfast in tow, it was time for the return journey home. One thing I missed on the way up was a flea market just down the road from the Wiscasset Antique Mall, but I was able to catch it on a Wednesday, which apparently is their best day.
Look at all these flashlights. There's so many of them. This is like one of those wedding cups.
A lot at this flea market, and I found it to be pretty reasonable, but with my haul I had to get back in the car and drive 7 hours home. So here's my thrift haul, a few of the items I picked up while I was in Maine. The first is this ribbon tin. I've been trying to collect ribbon tins wherever I go. They're a really easy way and cheap way to get typewriter related things from different places. I think I picked this one up for $2, and one thing I always do is I make a label of where I picked up the ribbon tin from and put it in there so I never forget. This one also came with some extras. I think these might be Olivetti thumb screws, but no way to confirm that. Another item I picked up was this Coach cosmetic bag. It was interesting because it had Coach on the front as well as on the bottom. I did get this authenticated online. I picked it up for $10, and I did sell this almost immediately after posting it for $30. So I made about $20 profit on this. And those are the kind of things I'm looking to resell when it comes to collecting Coach items or bags. This is another item that I picked up at the flea market. I bought this for $2. I also got it authenticated. It is missing the hang tag that would have gone with this, but I did sell this online, even though it is a white bag, for $25. So I made a $23 profit on this. It did have some damage on it, but that's something you expect with white leather bags. I was pretty happy with this pickup, and I've been trying to get Coach bags for more around the $2 to $3 to $5 range rather than the $15 to $16 to $25. It just allows for me to have more room to profit, especially if they're already a little bit worn looking. I also picked up some clothing items, including this Michael Kors dress. Now this is in my size. I did buy it for $10 in Goodwill. It didn't have a tag on it, and in my home Goodwills, they won't let me purchase it for that, but they did at this Goodwill in Maine. I do have it listed, but no one's been interested in it at $25, so I think I might just keep it and wear it to work. I also picked up a few other clothing items, including this Charter Club sweater. I believe I got this one for half off at the Goodwill as well. It's 100% cotton, which is why I picked it up. I've been looking for more natural fibers, and again, it's just a plain basic to wear to work. I'm always trying to look for a good deal on these items, and I believe this was the half off tag color. Another item I'm really excited about is this red sweater. It doesn't look like much, but if you look at the tag, this is a vintage Lofties tag. I looked up this sweater and I believe it's from the 1950s or 60s. Just kind of scanning through the aisles, it really stood out to me on the rack, so I did buy this one for full price. I believe it was $7, but I'm really excited to go on a little bit of a research deep dive on this guy. It's really cool to have something that old in my closet. If you know anything about vintage clothing or this brand, please let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to learn more. And then I did pick up two more clothing items, including this LL Bean sweater. I got this for 99 cents in the Salvation Army. I picked it up because I know the brand really well and it sells really well online. So I listed this and I bought it for 99 cents and sold it for $10. So I did make a $9 profit on this one. The other one I picked up was this purple flannel. I picked it up because of the brand name Land's End. I know that's a well-known brand. I do have it listed currently online for under $10, but it's been sitting for about a month. So not so sure if I did great on picking this one up. Again, it is natural fibers, a well-known brand, and it was only 99 cents. But those are my thrifted finds for my trip in Maine.
So I'm back at the editing desk. If you're interested in more typewriter content, there are some more videos on this YouTube channel as well as on my Instagram at just.my.typewriter. And thank you all so much for watching, and remind you, you're just my typewriter.